What's up, y'all? Jay from PushBlack here. And as you can see, it's our 8th season of Black History Year. And things are changing up a bit. So Black History Year debuts in May as a premiere YouTube show. And you can hear the history they don't teach us in school, but now see the people behind the stories, including our Master of Ceremonies.
Master of Ceremonies, like an MC?
Absolutely, but wait your turn, bro. So I'm stepping down from Black History Year to focus on new projects at PushBlack and get us closer to our goal of Black liberation. But I'm leaving the hosting duties in the capable hands of our narrative strategist, Mr. Darren Wallace.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So tell us, how long have you been with PushBlack?
Oh, well, it's been quite a journey. But I would put it somewhere around 3 years. Here at PushBlack, we're very much interested in reclaiming Afro-diasporic ways of knowing, which includes different ways of thinking about time. So it's a little bit fluid in my mind, but it feels somewhere around 3 or 4 years, I would say. But, you and I, we go back a bit further than that.
For sure. So with PushBlack, it could be 3 years, but it could be that you've always been here. It could be infinite the amount of time you've been with PushBlack. But more specifically, you and I going back about 10 years, almost 15 years now. And I'd say your influence has been on PushBlack even before you joined the team officially, based on the work that we were doing with Kinfolk Collective and what we built there. And excited to see what you bring to the table as the host of Black History Year. So tell us a bit about what's coming up.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this season's theme is around cultural reclamation. And I'd be remiss if I don't mention this, just the link between kind of Kinfolk Collective and PushBlack's kind of ethos and overall mission here. But Kinfolk was essentially a group of Black artists thinking through the overlaps and commonalities of the African diaspora and wanted to explore that through different artistic mediums. Specifically, you and I, as filmmakers, wanted to think about how to recover Afro-diasporic storytelling, right? And what does that give itself to an audience in terms of how they understand time or change over time? And what I really love about PushBlack, and particularly this season of Black History Year around cultural reclamation, is that it's absolutely in alignment with that ethos. Here, we're thinking about how to go back into our history and reclaim ways of knowing, ways of being, ways of organizing society, ways to relate to one another, the land, and whatnot, and recover that to retool it for Black liberation today. Because internally here at PushBlack, we explicitly state that we create media for Black liberation. And our articulation of Black liberation comes through the lens of like decoloniality, decolonization. And without having to dig too deep into the theory, all we really need to know is that there is so much Black indigenous knowledge that has been buried that can absolutely service us today, that can provide alternatives for moving beyond the systems we've been forced to kind of navigate. And we want to think about that in Black History Year across pretty much every area of people activity, from reclaiming Black birthing traditions and reinfusing the sacredness into that space, to remapping space just in general. So much of what we do here at PushBlack has to do with redefining, reframing, just certain moments in history, certain objects in history, certain ways of thinking that people feel is just normative, like it's always been here and that there's no other alternative. And we really want to break that open this season, and provide like actual practical alternatives to the ways that we've been forced to live. So yeah, we here to reclaim it all.
Taking it back, man. I appreciate that. And I know the audience and the community will appreciate that as well. I'm excited about it. So, you touched on this a bit, but if you could make it even more explicit, how would you say the theme of the podcast aligns with PushBlack's mission to inspire liberating actions in the best interest of our community?
Ooh, great question. To inspire liberating actions in the best interest of our communities. Absolutely. Well, PushBlack here, we center history even beyond the Black History Year podcast through all of our content. And what we really want to do in covering Black history, Afro-diasporic history, we want to emphasize the agency and resistance of Black communities throughout history, right? We want to showcase efforts to resist oppression and to assert our own humanities. And again, build alternatives to these oppressive systems. And we want to do that in order to inspire liberatory action. Part of this work has to do with addressing gaps and silences in the historical record where like Black resistance has been either silenced or overlooked or erased. And we want to, again, incorporate indigenous knowledge systems and methodologies. How do we relate to lands? How do we relate to our body? How do we relate to spirit? All that has to do with wanting to catalyze liberatory action today. Last thing I'll say about this is that all of our work here at PushBlack really interrogates just colonial ways of thinking about Blackness, our traditions, our traits, our accomplishments. We want to question these dominant fixed narratives around Blackness to really kind of break open what it is we can be and do in this world, to really inspire the imaginary, because too often, I don't know if you feel this way, Jay, but a lot of Black history content tends to kind of foreclose possibilities and just history content in general, So we want to lean into what's possible based off of what we've already done in the past. So absolutely, this season around cultural reclamation is right in alignment with what PushBlack is already doing.
Dope. What's possible? Opening up the imagination of ourselves, our community, and moving forward in that way. I love it, man. So I appreciate you. I'm excited to see it, and I can't wait to check it out. I have a front row seat right here, watching every episode, and I want to guarantee to the audience that this is going to be the next level of Black History Year. You are in capable hands. This is the man right here. So, Darren, I appreciate you being here.
Indeed. We're going to be talking about reclaiming our spirit, reclaiming our soul and bodies from generations of whitewashing and going back to Black. Excited to see you here in the front row and everyone out there in the audience. Can't wait for y'all to tune in. So thank you. What's up, fam? I have one small favor to ask. Please spread the word about Black History Year on social media. Podcasting is competitive, y'all, and the best way to grow is through your promotion. You can shout out this episode or share one lesson from it you found super interesting. Just tag us at We Are PushBlack on Instagram and TikTok so more folks can access the Black history they didn't teach us in school. Your support means the world to us, and your minute of effort makes our hours of work worth it. So thank you, fam.